Hello! This is the first in a set of 4 short videos on how to be respectfully assertive. This is an extremely useful personal skill, one that benefits you and it benefits the people around you as well. It's based on the classic best-selling book, When I Say No, I Feel Guilty by Manuel Smith. This book lays out ways that you are justifiably being respectfully assertive in your life as ways to both defend yourself, to create the possibility for deeper and better relationships, and finally to create win-win or acceptable, workable compromises with other people. This first section deals with the very core idea that you really have the right to be respectfully assertive. And Mr. Smith, in his book, lays out really 10 principles, some of which are quite controversial and interesting. So I'm going to lay those out in this video. In the next video, we'll look at the 3 defensive practices that you can use to keep people from gaslighting you or manipulating you in various ways. The third one, we'll look at 3 ways to be respectfully assertive to build deeper relationships and actually break deadlocks or being stuck and getting someplace. And then the fourth one is kind of a fun example of how to put this all together and see how it goes. So let's look at these core ideas of whether, in fact, you have the right to be respectfully assertive. Think of each of these and give them consideration. His first one is just the basic one, which is you have the right to judge your own behavior, your own thoughts, and your own emotions, and to take responsibility for their initiation and the consequences upon yourself. You have both the freedom, the right, and the responsibility for your own life. That's core, that's key. The second is you have the right to offer no reasons or excuses for justifying your behavior. People will say, well, justify that. Well, what's your reason for that? And you can say, well, it's just what I've decided to do. This is what I want to do. I'd rather do this. And they'll say, well, you have to give me a reason. Well, no, I don't. The third is you have the right to judge if you are responsible for finding solutions to other people's problems. Ha! Who knew? Who knew that? Well, it's really important to know. You're talking with a salesman who says, well, I really need to get this bonus. Can't you help me out here? Well, that's his issue, not yours. You're not responsible for solving his problem. People will often lay out their problems and say it's your job to help them solve it. Well, that's up to you. You do not necessarily have to buy into their often manipulative thing, hey, solve my problem, instead of dealing with your own interests. You do not have the necessity to solve other people's problems. You can certainly decide to help, but you don't have to do that. That's your assertive right. You have the right to change your mind. Well, who knew? Ha! Oh, you're just a flip-flopper. Well, new information, or just as your thoughts evolve, you might decide to change your mind. And people say, well, you can't change your mind. We say, well, of course I can. I have every right to change my mind. And this is an important assertive right. Well, you said this yesterday. I said, yes, and I did for this reason. Or you can just go ahead and say, but now, after further consideration, this is the way I want to go. This doesn't mean you don't keep your word, but it does mean you can change your mind about things. You have the right to make mistakes and be responsible for them. So if you make a mistake, it's because you have decided to do something and maybe it didn't work out, or in retrospect you think it was a mistake, but you have the right. It's your life to make the mistakes and to accept the responsibilities and consequences thereof. This one's a really powerful self-assertive thing, that you have the right to say, I don't know. Well, people say blah blah blah. I mean, you should know about it. I don't know. I don't know. And by this you kind of throw it back on them. They're saying they're trying to gaslight you, or just in some ways insist that you should know. People want you to read their minds and say, well, you should know I wanted that. And I said, well, I didn't know. You didn't say. So respectfully to say, I don't know, kind of throws it back on the other person, and is a really useful practice. You have the right to be independent of the goodwill of others. Now that is a powerful one. Often people will try to evoke the people pleaser side in you, and you'll have to understand, if it's not in your interest, you can say no. You can be respectfully assertive and say, I'd rather not. And they look like a little offended, like you've offended me by not doing what I want you to do. But you are not responsible, and you do not need to always cultivate the goodwill of others, particularly salespeople or anyone who's trying to manipulate you to do something that you'd rather not do. You have the right to be illogical in making your decisions. Someone could say, well, that's not logical. And you say, well, perhaps it isn't, but it makes sense to me, and this is what I choose to do. To not always have to give reasons or justifications or logic for what you do is an important part of respectful assertiveness. You have the right to do that. You have the right to say, I don't know and I don't understand. Those two are very close together. So you say, I don't know, or I don't understand. Again, the power of that, they say, well, you should know, or you should understand. Well, but I don't understand. And so assertively, you're essentially they're trying to manipulate you or get you to read their minds some way, and you say, well, no, I don't know, I don't understand. You throw it back in their court in a respectful manner, and not feel guilty because you don't understand or don't know. And the last one, which is really powerful and kind of challenging, is I don't care. Whoa, can you actually say that? Yes, you can. Now, of course, you need to choose when to say that and when not, or when to think that, but you have every right. People are trying to get you to care about all of their different causes and their interests and their things, and sometimes you can say or think and act that I don't care. I just don't care. So these 10, to think about these and say, really, are these valuable? Are they true? Do I really have the right to be respectfully self-assertive with regard to my own life, and do that in a respectful way in relationship to those around me? I think so. And I think actually these can provide a really powerful way to get better relationships with people around you. So this is the end of session 1. Session 2 will be 3 practices that help you defend when people are really trying to manipulate you. Section 3 is on ways to go deeper and try to break out of being stuck and get someplace deeper in relationships of various sorts. And session 4 is putting it all together with an example. So I hope you check out the next 3 videos. Thanks, and bye.